County. So I finished with my candidate interviews with some minor difficulties. Um, I did Mike Acey first, then Drew Pettis. I did um, over on over the computer, so we weren't face to face. I then did Bill Jury, and finally I did Kirk Nielsen. I asked Randy Willie and Bob Crowther if they would like to be interviewed as well, just as I ask all of them. And initially, Randy Willie said he wanted to, but then backed out for whatever reason. I asked Bob Crowther if he wanted to, and he declined the invitation. Um, for District 1, the options are Drew Pettis, Mike Acey, Bill Jury, or Bob Crowther. Um, I think the three people that I interviewed all had very, very good answers to the questions that I provided them. Let me back up slightly. The interviews were just stream of consciousness. Whatever I thought, I asked. Didn't really have anything written down. As you could probably tell, most of the time, on my hands were together. I didn't have papers in front of me. We just had a conversation, which I prefer. Um, yeah, each of them I thought had really good answers for things. Um, Mike Acey and Drew Pettis, the conversations were a lot longer because they're long-winded, and so am I. Because the conversations were really good. Bill Jury specifically asked to try and keep it a little bit shorter so that people didn't get bored with the conversation. So his was about 20 minutes. But again, I thought all the conversations went really well, and I'll leave it up to you as to what your thought of those conversations would be, and make your vote accordingly. For district, I think it's 2 or 3, I can't remember. It's Kirk Willie against Randy. Sorry, not Kirk Willie. Kirk Nielsen against Randy Willie. My interview with Kirk was frustrating, not because of anything that he said, because I thought the interview itself was great. Frustrating thing was that the first half of it was cut off for some reason. I'm assuming it was my fault that I didn't have good Wi-Fi signal or something. So we only got the last about 11 minutes of the interview. So we missed out on all of our conversation about the issues with that he has seen with planning and zoning, and what he would do as county commissioner to fix things like the disparity between what happened with the Renaissance Fair not being able to go because it exceeded the 1,000 people in an outdoor space versus the LDS Church being able to have stake conference with more than 1,000 people, no problems whatsoever, in an indoor space. It seems like a bit of a disparity. I'm part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, so I don't have a problem with stake conference. I don't have a problem with more than 1,000 people being in a building at the same time. I also don't have a problem with the Renaissance Fair having 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 people there. I don't care, especially if it's an outdoor venue. If people have if there's enough space that people don't feel crowded in there, pack them in as much as you want. Don't care. Um, and I don't. My own personal opinion is planning and zoning shouldn't have anything to do with how many people are at an outdoor venue or an indoor venue for that matter. It's an event. Or maybe if there's a fire code issue, then maybe we could have a separate conversation about that. But planning and zoning shouldn't have anything to do with any of that. um, sorry, that was my ramble, not directly related to the conversation I had with Kirk. um, we also talked about shoot, what did we talk about? We talked about how there's a data center going into Box Elder County, and how not how the data center would affect us, but the data center is going to be using a lot of water and a lot of power. I think they said that it was going to be able to be self-powered somehow. I don't know if they were putting a nuclear reactor into it or all done solar. I don't know how that's being done, but that came in, or that brought in the question about water and how important water is to Oneida County, and what he would do as county commissioner to help influence the county in that way, in a positive direction for water usage. He being part of the Malad Valley Irrigation Company, and being a farmer, he has a deep understanding in the needs of the valley dealing with water. We also talked about how the county needs funds, and the only way the county currently gets funds is one, through grants, or two, through taxes. And that makes sense to me. I dislike taxes. I don't know many people that do like taxes, but through the conversation, he said that the best way to get the money that the county needs for the sheriff's deputies that we have, for insurance needs for the families of the people that work there, which currently I think the county only provides insurance for the individual, not for the family of the individual. Kirk didn't think that was right. However, how can you change that without increasing taxes? That'd be a difficult situation. But he would like to see growth in the tax base. In other words, get more businesses in Malad, keep it an agricultural community, because that's what we all would prefer. At least the majority of us would prefer it stay mainly the way it is currently. However, if we brought in another business, and again, this is my take, not his directly. If we brought in another business like Hess Pumice that could employ a fair amount of people, and if it was a business that gave high enough wages, the higher the wages, the more the county can get for tax purposes. Which, again, I hate taxes, and I would prefer we didn't have to pay taxes at all. However, we live in the current world that we do, so we need to pay taxes. Yeah, conversation with Kirk cut short. Didn't like that. If Kirk wants to redo the interview, I'm more than willing to give Kirk another interview. If Bob and Randy would prefer to change their minds and actually have an interview with me as well, I'm up for that as well. I would prefer that the voters of the county have as much information about each of the individual candidates as possible before making the decision on who to vote for. Yeah, so enjoy the interviews. I hope the few interviews that went long aren't too long, and if you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. If you want more things like this, please subscribe to my channel so that when I put out a video, you can see it in the future, and we'll see you around.